How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some creepy old family photos that many people believe have ghosts in them. But as always, before we dive in, remember to hit that subscribe button for more awesome creepy content just like this. Old family photos tend to depict important moments such as family trips. While families often hate to see their vacations end, some snapshots from the trip may make them glad that they left a particular spot behind. As this photo commemorates, the Islam family decided to take a trip to Roundhay Park in Leeds, 1 year over the Easter break. As part of their tour, they visited a Victorian folly and decided to take some family photos to remember the experience. In one photo, we see daughter Marian Islam and nephew Rehan Khalik holding their arms out toward one another. Just above them, someone else appears to have entered the picture. Walking down the steps of the structure appears to be a woman clad in a long white cloak, perhaps even a veil covering her face. The family insists that there was no one else nearby when the photo was taken. They certainly would have noticed someone touring the park in such unusual clothing. Who was this mysterious figure? The park isn't known to be haunted, but spirits can be quietly lurking in places where you'd least expect. This old family photo was uploaded to Reddit in 2013. It caused quite a stir as users scrambled to explain the mysterious details in the photograph. The post, titled "Extra Hand in My Family Photo from 2000, shows 5 family members posing for a nice family photo. The chilling thing is, if you look at the dad's right shoulder, there's an extra hand. Every member of the family has their hands accounted for, but for some creepy reason there's an extra hand perched on the dad's shoulder. The poster claims that he's the boy in the middle and was at a loss to explain the image. "I'm the kid with braces in the picture and I can honestly say that is not my hand. My parents' house is crazy haunted," he said. The poster goes on to say that one summer he snuck into the front yard to have a cigarette when a full-bodied apparition appeared in the garden. He was so frightened he could barely move. Fellow Redditors analysed the image and on the whole were at a loss to explain the strange occurrence. Some keen-eyed viewers noted that the sleeve of the boy in the middle runs out of shot, which could allow him to reach around and create the illusion of an extra hand. While this could be the case, the poster insisted several times in follow-up comments that it's not a hoax and that the image is 100% genuine. So what do you think, real or fake? Love to hear your opinions on this one in the comments section below. Family reunions are another great time to get pictures of the entire family posing happily together. Some old family photos show that even deceased relatives want to join in on the fun. This photo of a family reunion in New Zealand appears to have been taken sometime in the 1930s based on the style of the clothing. At first glance, it appears to be a typical photo of a family enjoying their day together. However, if you look closely at the middle of the back row, there appears to be a spirit posing along with the family. To make matters more intriguing, several members of the family who grew up in the house where the photo was taken claim to have seen this very spirit in the house, often standing over their beds when they were children. They described her as wearing a white dress with a bodice and dark brooch. Her hair is always tied up in a bun. Many members of the family believe that she's an ancestor keeping watch over the children as they sleep. In this photo, the 2 boys in the foreground get photobombed not once but twice. While they can blame their younger sister for one intrusion, the other is more difficult to explain. In the foreground of the photo, 2 young men are posing in their best clothes. They clearly feel dapper as they preen in front of the camera. However, in the window just behind them, you can see that their 2 younger sisters wanted to be part of the photo shoot. Except the boys only had one sister, and she was alone in the house when the photo was taken. The photo clearly shows another girl on the right in a pale blue dress with a large white collar. Who was this mysterious phantom? The family couldn't identify her, and she never appeared again. As any pet owner will tell you, furry companions are just as much part of the family as humans. This makes it understandable that four-legged friends often show up in old family photos. Sometimes they appear in photos even after they've passed away. The photo on the left shows a small terrier. He was an energetic dog who frequently played with the larger dog in the photo on the right. The big pup was heartbroken when his playmate passed away. However, the photo on the right seems to suggest that his furry friend never really left. Just above the bigger dog's backside, you can clearly see the smiling face of his former friend. This just goes to show how loyal our furry companions are even after death. This old photo isn't much to look at on the surface. It shows a window in a dark room, but the bright light coming from outside causes a glare that makes it difficult to see what's happening outside the window. The only clear part of the photo is the man's face in the upper left corner. However, the woman who snapped the photo insists she was alone in the house when she took it. To make matters even eerier, she asserts that the face in the corner strongly resembles that of her stepfather, who had died by suicide years before. She adds that the dresser where the face appears to hover used to belong to her stepfather. It was the very place where he stored the gun that ended his life. Some people believe that young children have the ability to see things the rest of us can't. Some old family photos seem to confirm this supernatural belief. In this photo, a young child is resting comfortably on a worn old chair. According to the photographer, the child's grandfather had died shortly before this picture was taken. The little boy had crawled onto his grandfather's chair and she wanted to capture this special moment. However, when the film was developed, a large red blur appeared alongside the child. The blur is vaguely human-shaped, leading the photographer to wonder if her relative had paid a visit to his old chair so that he could pose just once with his new grandson. Some old family photos are more important than they seem on the surface. When you know that a loved one may not have much time left, the images you capture of them become all the more important. This image depicts a young girl named Erin running across the grass on Independence Day with sparklers in her hands. This photo of childhood joy is tinged with sadness, as Erin was battling leukemia when the photo was taken. However, the image is even more astounding when looking just above the girl. What initially appears to be a blur of light from the sparklers takes on a human form when examined closely. There's even a clear face at the top of the form that looks remarkably like popular depictions of the Virgin Mary. The family believes that this image shows that someone was watching over their little girl. One of the best things about old family photos is that they capture important memories that can be cherished for generations to come. Such photos are wonderful ways to think about loved ones and remember the bond that you shared. In the case of Judy Herring, her family photo collection turned up something more hauntingly beautiful than she could ever have imagined. The photo is a portrait of her great-grandfather posing outdoors. However, a semi-translucent figure of a woman appears in front of him. Although the image is somewhat blurry, it's clear that the figure is an older woman with white hair, standing somewhat hunched over. According to Judy, the woman strongly resembles her great-grandmother who had already passed away. Some believe that this photo merely shows a light flare, but Judy is convinced that this is evidence of her great-grandparents' everlasting love, transcending even death. Before we get to that number one spot and take a look at a truly chilling image of a spirit that appeared on a happy couple's wedding day, remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on channel notifications. That way you'll be completely up to date with all our latest content. Not all spirits who show up in old family photos have benevolent intentions. Sometimes the ghosts who pop up in photos clearly have more hateful motivations. This particular photo was snapped in Alabama in 1942. It depicts a young couple shortly after their wedding ceremony. The two are all smiles, clearly reveling in the bliss of their recent nuptials. However, if you look closely at the tree just behind the bride's left shoulder, someone appears to be objecting to the union. Flying in the air behind the bride appears a terrifying spirit. Her mouth is open wide in an expression of shock and anger. One arm reaches out towards the couple, while the other is raised as if in preparation to strike the happy newlyweds. No one has ever been able to hazard a guess as to the identity of this malevolent spirit, who seemed to wish the happy couple harm on the happiest day of their lives. If you want more scary photos just like these, then check out that video on the top there. Otherwise, there's a creepy photos playlist there you can binge on. Leave us a comment down below which one of these images you thought was the creepiest. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.